What's going on? Welcome to the Dylan and Leslie channel. And welcome to what is this? National Knife Day.
Oh yeah?
It is.
How are we going to celebrate?
Well, I'm going to use a knife or 5 or 10.
Okay.
So I think what we should do though, for those of you that don't know or haven't followed the channel very much or haven't seen us talk about this a whole lot on our Dylan Talks Tone channel, we both kind of like knives. We have a lot of knives around here.
Did you count yours?
I did not. I do not.
You don't count yours?
No, I don't count them on a regular basis. So what we're going to do is we are going to do my top 5, and you're going to do your top 5. So we're going to go from 5 to 1, with our favorite being number 1.
Okay.
So why don't you start with number 5?
Okay. So number 5 is...
Benchmade bug out.
Yep. With scales that you put on for me.
Yes.
So it's super lightweight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Flitanium scales. Those are like CNC milled G10 scales on a Benchmade bug out. Yeah. The thing only weighs like 1.8.
Yeah, I think that's why I like it. It's super lightweight, and it is just an easy manual, and it's purple and black.
Yeah, so we should talk about that. You have a thing, right? So with the exception of 2 knives, what is your theme?
Black blade, purple handle. Yeah.
Yep. So black blade, purple handle on just about everything.
Yep.
So there you go. That is a Benchmade bug out. That's your number 5.
Number 5.
I dig it. I like those a lot.
Your number 5.
I have one of those. My number 5 is going to be all black. This is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And I really, really like this knife. I think if you were to kind of put this in the department of just a really good pocket knife, it's S45 VN blade steel with G10 handles, and this particular one is all black. That's why I got it. In fact, I was just out at Spyderco and bought another all black knife to match this a couple weeks ago. And most of the time I get my Spydercos from Spyderco. Mm-hmm. Like we go to Colorado and I go to Spyderco and I get them there. But it's got the compression lock. It's really convenient. I'm left-handed, but I actually use my knives right-handed most of the time. And so
I never thought about that.
Yeah,
You do.
Yeah. I flip my knives and I use them, right-handed most of the time. So, oops.
Oh, you just nicked the table.
Nicked the table. So there you go. That's the Spyderco PM2. It's light, but super heavy duty still. Super slim, slicey blade, so you can, cut anything. S45 VN is pretty killer. As a blade steel, it's actually one of my favorite blade steels because it's easy to sharpen, but it still lasts a long time. So I really, really like that one. So that's number 5. What's your number 4?
4 is a Microtech. This was actually my first knife when I didn't know I wanted knives.
Yep.
But that's what started black blade, purple handle. Because there's another handle that's like a pinkier, like a violet, but this was definitely like a purple. So this one's just fun.
Yep. That's kind of your purse utility knife.
Yeah, I carry this one every day.
In your purse, right?
In my purse, yep.
So like the one you just showed us kind of lives on your desk.
It does.
Mail comes or whatever, the Benchmade, you kind of use that to open mail and whatever maybe sometimes. But this one lives in your purse.
Yep.
Pretty much most of the time.
So it might not get used as much, but it is one of my favorites. And it's a good conversation piece, and it was my first one.
Yeah, and this is the UTX 75. Mm-hmm. So she has the UTX, the normal UTX, which is really big. This is 75% of that size. I have a UTX 85, which is a little bit bigger than that, but this is the smallest UTX.
Yep. But I did want, we got this one on purpose. I didn't want the double blade.
You didn't want a double edged blade.
Yeah.
You wanted a regular drop point.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
I don't trust myself with 2 edges.
Yeah. M390 steel. Great knife. Great knife. Great little utility thing to go in your purse because it's real small.
Yep. with a little glass breaker on the other end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool. Number 4. All right, my number 4 is we are going completely opposite. We're going fixed blade. This is one of my favorite new acquisitions. I've not had this one very long. This is a company called Half Face Blades. This is a S35 VN steel with sculpted carbon fiber handles. This is a Navy SEAL. He's a retired Navy SEAL in San Diego, California. And this is one of those knives where you have to they come out, they drop knives every Friday, and you have to like be in line to buy them. Otherwise, they're sold in 5 minutes. So I've got 2 of his knives. I've got a bigger one than this also, but I like this because I can carry this knife. It looks huge, but when you put it with this ulti-clip and you put it in your kind of front pocket, it doesn't stick up very far, and I can use it. I just have to be careful getting in and out of the car and stuff. But other than that, I really, really like this knife. It just stays sharp. It's super utility. Nice jimping on the backside. This is a really, really fun knife. I really, really enjoy it. And I carry it quite often. This is in my pocket quite often. It's weird because it's 7 inches long, but I still love it.
It works.
It works. It works hard, too.
Are we down to number 3?
We're down to number 3.
All right, so now I'm going to change it up. This is one of my anomalies. So this is, you will see in the upcoming that ProTech is my favorite.
Yep.
So this is what, a Godfather?
Mm-hmm.
In black and rose gold.
Mm-hmm.
I also like black and rose gold for other reasons, and this knife matches, and I really like it. This is another one that I carry in my purse every day. It has its own special pocket.
Yep. So that goes in the
And it is a
more accessible,
real conversation piece because it's really pretty.
because it's really beautiful. And when you pop that sucker out,
Yeah, you know you do.
you know you do. Yeah. Yep.
It's got a little snap to
I
it.
actually bought that knife for myself, and then she's like, wait
The
a minute.
same day we bought this, right?
Yeah, the same day we
Same
bought
day we
the-
bought the Microtech.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're both mine.
We bought these at Smoky Mountain Knife Works in Sevierville,
Yep.
Tennessee. Yep. Very cool. Very cool knife. That's a really cool knife. All right, my number 3 is going to be actually another fixed blade. This knife here is, again, I buy knives a lot of times because of the story of why they're made or how they're made, or
Because you watch a lot of videos.
yeah, and because of the maker and everything. So there is a book series by Jack Carr, and I've got introduced to Winkler knives out of North Carolina through Jack Carr, and then I found out that he made all the axes and stuff for The Last of the Mohicans. And so this knife has been a favorite of mine ever since I got it. It's 80 CRV to steel, so it's a carbon steel. It's not a stainless. Everything I've showed you so far is like a fancy stainless steel. This is carbon steel, so you have to keep it clean. And I keep it blade waxed, and I wax the handle because this is a hand sculpted maple handle. Again, this is a SEAL-inspired defensive knife. They call this the Standard Duty 1. And I really, really like it for a utility because it is a carbon steel, you can beat on it. I will pry with this knife. I will stick this knife into stuff. This is another one that I carry a lot. I found myself, I was on a construction site a week ago helping with some stuff, and I found myself just sticking in stuff and doing stuff. And if you dull it a little bit, since it's 80 CRV2, you just hit it on the stone super quick, and it's right back to razor sharp. And it's just such a cool knife. And I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I love the feeling, the weight of it, the balance. This knife there's a reason why this is number 3. I really, really like this thing a lot. And I carry it. It's almost my favorite fixed blade. Well, it is my favorite fixed blade to carry because it is a little bit smaller than the other one, and it fits right in my pocket. Just this has got one of these multi clips that I really like. So it's got a felt lined sheath, like really quality stuff. I really like that knife a lot. Number 2.
Number 2.
Wait, is it going to be a ProTech?
It's gonna be a ProTech. It's gonna be an Emerson ProTech. So this caught my attention at
Blade Show 2023. Yeah.
between the button and this design. So it's not totally purple, but I had to have it. And I was discouraged from getting it because the blade is quite different.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really have any kind of blade on that side. So it's a one-sided, but
Like a chisel
I
ground.
use this a lot because of that. Like once I realized how to use it, so if you're opening envelopes, it doesn't slice where you don't want it to. Yeah. So I don't know. It is really versatile.
So we have not talked about this. Yeah, you haven't told me
do
why you like this knife.
I mean, I didn't know if I would like it. I just thought it was pretty, and it's a ProTech. Because even though it's whatever the Emerson is, but it definitely
So Emerson
it feels like a ProTech 100%.
Yeah, so Emerson designed this knife,
Right.
And the blade style has this little Emerson wave spot in it, even though it's an automatic, so you don't really need the little hook.
And it's thick, and it has all these,
Facets in it, the little swedge on the back.
But it's good. I like it for, I know exactly where the blade is, and it only cuts what I want it to cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
That's pretty cool. And that patterned micarta on one side is really, really neat. And that's one-of-a-kind knife. This was in a kind of a one-of-a-kind collectible. Move it over that way just a little bit.
Yep.
This was in like a one-of-a-kind collectible. They only made one of each design.
Yeah, and because of the pattern, of course, it was never going to be the same.
Repeatable.
All the buttons were different.
Yeah,
I picked this one out.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and the guy was like, the ProTech guy was like, "Are you sure you're gonna want that? Because that's a chisel ground blade."
But I had to have this handle, and I was like, I'll figure out the rest. Because when you look at it, it actually it's like sitting like this, and I was like, "Yep, that's the one."
And actually, I didn't know that you used it as much as you do.
I do.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yep.
I like that a lot. That's a chunk too, isn't it?
It is. This is a big one.
All right, I guess my number 2. So now we're getting into with that one. That obviously number 2 because you really like it, but also number 2 because it's one of your most used.
Yep.
Right, like
I
it's a
chose my
go-to.
number 1 as the most used.
As the most
We're
used.
not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same with me.
Okay.
And what's really weird is I've only had this knife a week,
Yeah.
but it has hit my pocket almost every day since.
But do you
then.
think it's because it's new, or you think it's
No.
because it's good?
No, I think it's because it's good.
All
It
right.
is, and I'm surprised because it's the first one of this brand that I have.
Yep.
This is the Hogue Deca, and this is a Magna Cut blade.
And it coordinates with his outfit.
It coordinates with my outfit. It has Ultim scales, which is this polymer stuff that is really hard and it's CNCable. So you can see the mechanism inside it.
CNCable and see-through?
Yeah. So this blade shape, I really like the drop point / clip point. Like, a clip point has that little curve coming down, and it's like the hunting knife sort of thing. But it's very good for utility. It's very thin, so if you look, this knife, your Benchmade bug out here is like the standard of thin and very light blades. Like if this is the knife, this is the standard for like a thin, ultralight knife, right? Which makes it really, really practical. So Hogue, which is made in the United States as well, all these knives are made in the United States actually. This knife here kind of does the same thing, but it's a little beefier. It's a little work, like it does more work in my opinion. I like how light it is. I like how it sits in my pocket. I like, so it has the crossbar lock, which was previously patented by by Benchmade, but now it's not, so these guys can use it. And the action, of course, I'm doing it wrong, but the action is really, really nice. It works really well, and of course, it's MagnaCut blade steel, which is the new hotness. It's really, really sharp. Factory edges from Hogue are absolutely unbelievably good. I've heard that in the past. I have not touched this up. I have not used any sharpening. Normally when I get a new knife, I have to re-establish my, put my own edge on it, and I have not had to touch this knife at all. It's perfect from the factory, and it's just really, really good. So that's the Hogue Deca and MagnaCut. That is my number 2. And this has been in my pocket almost ever since I got it. It was in my pocket today. Drum roll. I'm ready for your number 1.
My number 1
favoriteest knife of all time this year.
is
Lately.
surprisingly smaller, because I tend to like big knives.
Yep.
Purple.
Which is really interesting that you like big knives.
But I like this one the most.
ProTech Runt 5.
Yep. So this one, I know this is a MagnaCut blade because I had one before he did.
Yeah, you had the first MagnaCut blade in the house.
But purple and black. But I like this one because it's still ProTech, so it's super snappy, and this is, boxes, envelopes, packages, bubble mailers.
Look at the wear and the DLC coating. You used the crap out of this
Yep.
knife.
I like this one.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that one, I bought one of those for my nephew too, because it's California legal, because it's below 2 inches, and so it's a neat knife. You can fit that in your purse. You could fit that in your glove box of your car, whatever. And it's super utility. Fits in the hand really nice, so you can use it as a utility knife. Yeah, but it still snaps like a ProTech. Yeah, for sure.
Look at even the wear right there.
Oh yeah, you've been using it. That's really cool, man. No, hey, that's what they're for, right? Absolutely, that's what they're for. Okay, my number 1. As we know, we have been going by these knives by use. This, it may come as no surprise to you that a knife like this would be my number 1, because this is kind of a grail knife for a lot of people. This is a Chris Reeves Sebenza. These knives are not cheap. This is the most expensive pocket knife that I own. And as a result, when you look in forums and stuff, people will say, well, actually, even when I post on Instagram or I use it in a video, people can't believe that I'm carrying this knife. People think that it's some kind of collector thing. But I believe in some South African language, I can't remember what it's called, what language it's from, but Sebenza is the word for work. This is a work knife. It is a titanium knife. It has micarta scale appliques on the outside. It's S45 VN steel with a hollow grind, and this liner or this frame lock here was actually invented by Chris Reeves. This knife, they actually called this the Reeves lock for a long time. This knife is, they say bank vault when it opens, because it is, and it is 100% sharp, or 100% solid, doesn't wiggle. You can use this for anything. This knife has been in my pocket for a year since, this is my main number 1 carrying knife.
Yeah, and even to me, the surprising part has been that it has a lanyard, and you are still cool with it.
I thought I was going to take that off immediately.
I did too.
And I really like it. And actually, I have a couple other knives now with lanyards on them, and I actually really do like them. A couple of my fixed blades have lanyards, and I really like them. But this knife, whatever, I think it was $600 or something. But this knife, and I really babied it at first. I really was like, I can't believe I have one of these, And then the more I use it, and you can't tell that I've used it, and you can see it's used, but it just, I don't know. I've tried, it's funny, I'm not saying that it has kept me from buying knives, but there have been certain knives where I was like, I would like to buy that knife, but I will never carry it because I already have this. And this Hogue is the closest thing to come to supplanting this knife since I got this.
Interesting.
I'll tell you when I use the Hogue over the Chris Reeve. When I want pants not to fall down. Because it's lighter. So if I want something lighter, it actually sits smaller in my pockets.
Yep.
Sits smaller in my pocket, sits lower in my pocket.
lighter.
Yeah, if I want to be a little more discreet and it's lighter, then I'll carry the Hogue. Otherwise, this baby is in my pocket 100% of the time. Even when I'm dressed up, when I'm in dress clothes, because it's pretty, it's, you know, it's just,
And
it
yes,
is-
you've heard that more than once because he usually carries more than one.
Yeah, I usually carry at least 2 knives. Yep. Well, there you go. That is our top 5 for each of us for
Yours looks so
national.
yours looks so like mean and worky, and
Here,
mine
put 'em all the
are
way up
so
here, so-
pretty.
Yeah, you definitely have the. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you definitely have the pretty knives, and I have the utility. I have some pretty knives for
Yeah.
sure, but the ones I carry every day, I don't care that they're pretty. They're very tactical. Of course, these 3 are tactical knives. So, but there you go. Like and describe and do all the things that you do. Please comment. I don't know if we'll have links to any of these because these makers aren't on any of our affiliate programs, but please go down there and use those. And we will see you in the next video.